What better way for two designers to get inspired than to go right to the source?
Today we're going to tour a Hemlock facility to find out how interior finishings are made.
This is a great opportunity, so let's go take a closer look.
Amanda, Forrest, nice to meet you.
Amanda, pleasure to meet you.
Hi, Andrew Pike.
Andrew, Paul Harvey. This is our Pacific Coast Hemlock molding factory.
Would you mind giving us a tour of how all this works?
I would love to. In fact, we can actually start here. This area right behind me here is where we would receive all of our inbound green lumber. Green is actually the state of the wood. So it's been cut from the log, and it still has all the water and sugars and materials in that wood.
Where do you get all of your lumber from?
There's multiple sources that it comes from. Most of them would be within a 50 to 100 mile radius. And a lot of the hemlock is actually harvested in the coastal forests of British Columbia. The supply that we have is either PEFC or FFC certified product. The first step in all of the molding process would be from this green state, we actually take the wood and put what we call a stick or spacer between them. And the purpose of that is we actually dry the wood in what we call kilns. In the green state, the moisture in hemlock can range anywhere from 60 to 100%. And we actually are targeting to bring that down to 8 to 12% moisture content. This is the second step here. The objective of this actual machine center is to maximize the most of the wood. So what the operator is actually doing here, as the wood's coming down the chain here, he's got lasers that'll line up on the wood, and he's trying to maximize that wood to get the best, the clearest parts of the wood out. Although the machine's doing the cutting on the wood, it's actually the grader that's really making the decisions of what that machine's gonna do. One of the great things about our Hemlock product is the actual hands-on craftsmanship that's used to make that. In fact, our people are our best asset that we have at our factory. The next step is where we're actually cutting out some of the imperfections to yield the longest, clearest pieces possible. The wood from the rip saw that had those defects or imperfections in it, which is the wood here that we're grading to get the clear pieces out of that wood. The wood will come in through what would be called the Infeed here, where you've got a grader at the top that has a special crayon. They're actually marking the imperfections on the wood with that. And it actually tells the computer how to cut that piece of wood. The idea is to get the cleanest, clearest, largest piece of wood from that cut. So this is the fourth step in the process. Okay. This would be called the resaw. So if you can think about the rip saw where we're ripping the length of the wood, this is resawing it or just kind of splitting it down the middle. Essentially, you could take a piece of 2x4 and turn it into two pieces of 1x4. At this point, we've taken the wood from a green state and we've got it to the state where it's actually ready to go into the molder. The last step is we've taken that blank, and that molding blank is going through our molder, and it comes out as the finished product. The wood that's been prepped to this point actually goes through the front of the machine, and there's actually 9 different molding heads that are on this machine. The molding heads are actually knives that are cut out to the shape of the profile, and they'll go and they'll spin in the machine. It carves the pattern onto that piece of wood. Ensuring that the quality is bang on here is critical. Before, the quality was to ensure that the wood has been graded properly. Now the quality here is to ensure that the profile is exact. There's a lot of different machines and a lot of different steps involved, but really it's as simple as taking a piece of wood and turning it into a beautiful finished product.
I think if I was going to take something away from the tour, it would be the fact that all of these pieces are made with such precision that you're guaranteed to have good quality seams and fits and measurements all the time. And when you're working in an industry that we work in, it's incredibly important to have reliable materials.
One point that really stood out to me during the tour today was the fact that every single piece of wood is used. There's really minimal waste. That was something I really didn't know about prior today, and it makes me even more confident in using the product going forward.